This is Our View, the television voice of the proud members of the Washington Federation of State Employees, the people who work for you. It's January, and it's the annual session of the Washington State Legislature. Federation members will be contacting their representatives on their own time as they advocate for needed changes in Washington's law, programs, and budget. And as public workers, they'll also be advocating for a better life for the residents of their state.
Well, this year we're going to be tackling the issue of affordable housing for all Washingtonians. This directly impacts our membership who would like to be able to afford to live and work in the communities that they serve. And so we're going to be taking on this issue in the legislature. And I think we all know that King County, as well as a number of other places in Washington State, have some of the highest cost of living. Our members make a relatively moderate pay rate. And someone living in King County can't really afford to live in the community that he works. So that means we have a lot of members that are commuting out of the region. This impacts our schools, it impacts public services, and it also directly impacts our members and their families. We're always looking at making sure that we have adequate public service funding, so we'll be looking at specific holes in the budget. Because the legislature failed to pass a capital budget, this delay in the capital budget project has impacted all of us as Washingtonians. Critical projects have been delayed, which will cause the cost for taxpayers to go up. And so this is really critical for all of us as Washingtonians to ensure that the legislature passes a capital budget.
Now always remember, the state legislature is supposed to represent you and work for you. So to leave a message for your representatives, use email or the legislative hotline, 1-800-562-6000. Now, go with us as 5 underpaid workers report to their construction jobs in King County early in the morning and present their letter informing the employer they are striking. Low pay, poor working conditions, and safety concerns drove these workers to take a stand for their rights.
We arrived to the job site with the intentions of delivering a strike letter and explaining to a foreman of Bulwark that I was going on strike because of the way the company is, the benefits are good enough, the pay, that we deserve better, and he didn't accept the strike letter. He said it at first joking around, but then when I handed it to him explaining that it was actually like real, and that's when he kind of got upset. He said a couple curse words and he started walking to work. And then we followed him to hand him the paper so he could turn it into the top rank of the company, but he still refused. And he started throwing the papers. We kept trying to hand him other copies and he didn't want it. I felt like astonished, like surprised, because we're friends and the way he reacted was like, wow, you know?
All right.
Huh?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, he's a foreman.
Weird, he was my friend. It made me feel bad because he wasn't like this when we were working together, you know? And now it's like a whole different person. We all left and we went to the main office where the superintendent was to turn him in the letter of our strike, and he took it. And it was pretty cool about it. but it was an experience. Everybody was with us. We weren't alone. You know, everybody was following us. It was like we're all as one. And that what made me feel more comfortable, but still surprised, you know, of the reaction of the foreman.
If you've seen the news lately, you've seen many on-the-job sexual harassment cases. Some well-known harassers have lost their jobs, but we have a long way to go to bring this form of workplace bullying to an end. We're learning the best solutions are coming from labor unions as members protect one another and hold management accountable. Alex Press, a university PhD student, is studying the issue and found that SAG-AFTRA, the Union of Film and Broadcast Workers, is taking steps to bring more safety to its members.
So the specific case of SAG-AFTRA and Harvey Weinstein, you know, there's a couple things that have been laid out as changes SAG-AFTRA could make. So the president of SAG-AFTRA recently, in a piece in Politico, she was quoted saying that a lot of these cases happened off the clock. These were women who, you know, the disgusting image of like the casting couch of Hollywood, where it's off hours and you're invited to a bar or a hotel room to talk to someone powerful. So, you know, the president said, look, our contracts regulate on the job hours, and there's nothing we necessarily can do at the moment about what happens off the clock. And I think part of, you know, her quote there was acknowledging that there needs to be a change and a recognition of the real conditions of the workplace. And in that industry, it isn't enough to just talk about what's happening on a set, say, or, you know, in an office. And so I think one thing SAG-AFTRA is probably considering, and again, I'm not in SAG-AFTRA, so I don't know how this is functioning internally, but they're considering whether there's a way to track retaliation against women who've brought these cases and what to do about that retaliation. So can you blacklist a set that's run by someone who has retaliated against victims in the same way that SAG-AFTRA will send do not work notices about non-union sets? The same thing could be done about men that are, say, blacklisting certain women or, you know, their supporters from work. So that's one example.
Home delivery of meals is becoming more common in major cities, and much of the delivery work is done by young men and women on bicycles. They're fast and get through heavy traffic easily. While it provides part-time flexible employment, it is not without danger. Our report on this is from Benjamin Marcus in Paris, but this service is also becoming established in major U.S. cities, and you can be assured the labor practices found in Paris will find their way to our delivery services as well.
Last September, delivery bikers hit the streets of Paris protesting recent salary cutoffs. These self-employed delivery bikers are currently paid an average of 7.5 euros an hour plus 2 to 4 euros per delivery. Now the company Deliveroo wants to suppress the hourly rate, only paying their bikers per delivery. We see them in major cities, riding at high speed through the streets with massive backpacks, delivering food any time of the day. Deliveroo works with over 7,500 bikers in Paris, a city of over 2 million people. As a delivery platform, it's in Deliveroo's interest to have many delivery bikers for fewer orders, so they can be sure to have a biker on standby who will deliver fast. In the long term, the biker will have fewer deliveries per hour, therefore making less money. Other than fewer deliveries per hour, harsh working conditions are not taken into account. We don't receive any extra compensation for harsh weather conditions, such as rain and strong winds. Our working conditions are tough. If it rains, we have to slow down and make fewer deliveries per hour. The number of bicycle accidents has increased in the city of Paris. But from these numbers, we can't determine how many were actual delivery bikers. A friend of mine broke all of his fingers in a traffic accident, and another one broke his teeth in a collision with a car. One biker I knew was killed last year. Lamine is an architectural student who works part-time as a bike deliverer. This job suits him well. This allows him to choose his schedule to fit his classes. But he knows the changes Deliveroo wants to make will lower his income.
My name is Lamine. I'm a student, and I deliver food in Paris. I'm doing the job for 6 months, like 6 months. So I work like 18 to 20 hours a week. It's more flexible, so I can manage it to my studies. I can work, so I'm paid for 5 to 6 euros per hour. I work in like 20 hours in a week.
Within these delivery services, there is a software, an algorithm for every biker that tracks every delivery, route, speed, and efficiency of the biker. If they're too slow because their bicycle is too heavy, or if there's too much traffic, some bikers can get penalties and even laid off. Other delivery companies may also stop paying hourly rates. This may push cyclists to take higher risks when on delivery. Benjamin Marcus for Our View, Paris, France.
Right now, more than ever, we need everyone to be 100%, because organizations like the Freedom Fund or Freedom Foundation are trying to take the union down by giving people to opt out. And when we are 100%, we have full capacity to work for and protect our workers' rights.
It's about unity and being there in solidarity, and it honors the workers and it supports them and it makes us safe. So it's important. It's an important piece, and I wish this whole state was unionized.
I am 100% union because families in Washington State deserve expert services carried out by highly qualified professionals.
This has been Our View, brought to you by the proud members of the Washington Federation of State Employees. We remind you, when you accept a paycheck for your hard work, you don't give up your rights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.